a challenge for editing, Caleb. Hey, put this at the beginning of the video. If you have not watched Arcane, watch it right now before you watch this.
Correct. Arcane broke my heart, our hearts.
Yes.
I have no better way to say that. So we're gonna yap.
Yeah.
So throw us
Gotta
on in
yap
the
to fill the void.
background. It doesn't matter as we talk about Act Two, Act Three, Act One, all the season two. Because
Yeah.
this, oh my god. Okay.
A lot happened.
Where do you want to start? Just want to start
I
Act
guess I guess
One.
chronologically, yeah. I mean, it's honestly, I know I just watched Act One like last Saturday because I watched Act One and Act Two like together,
Yeah.
and I like it's funny because it feels like that was forever ago. Like, it's like what even happened episode one?
Dude, literally,
Like,
I feel like after just that, I'm like, what is going on? What did I even
yeah,
watch?
like episode one of Act One of season two. God, is it feels like it was a lifetime ago. It's like that was forever. I feel like so much time has passed.
Dude, okay. So I would
Like,
say Act One,
mhm,
it kind of gave us what we were expecting from season one, which we didn't get, which was Vi and Jinx head to head. You know,
mhm.
because even though we got that in season one, did we though? Because like
Yeah,
they
we
never
didn't really
fully.
see them. I think the only two times they like fully interacted was when Jinx had the flare, and then they
Yeah,
talked for not very long before they got broken up, and then also at the very end when they were at the table, right?
yeah, because they had. Yeah, because if I'm looking back at season one, perfection first of all.
Very good.
So yeah, I mean they don't. They meet again when she's Jinx. Like they don't interact until like the start of what would have been Act Three. I mean, I didn't watch it as it came
Mm.
out. Neither did you. We watched together,
Yeah,
but
watched
we
it as
just
a
yeah we
collective.
just binged it. But they had the same thing, the acts. So that would have been the start of Act Three. They didn't even interact as Vi and
Hmm.
Jinx.
Well, Act One
So
was all like the past, right? Well, at least
yeah.
episode one and two.
Oh yeah, no, it was all three of them. It was Vi,
Okay, that's what I
Jinx,
thought.
like little powder at the time,
Yeah.
and then yeah, then we see what are they called? The firelights. That's what it is with
Hmm.
Echo, but we
Yeah.
don't know it's Echo. And then
Right.
they showed up at the end of Act Two, I think it was. Yeah. So yeah, it was the end of Act Two when they first
Hmm.
interacted. So we
There
didn't
was
get like a
very
head to
little
head.
interaction with them. Yeah.
Yeah. So Act One, Season Two, it gave us what we kind of wanted, kind of expected with that. So that was good. But also, I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit and just say
Okay.
I'm so goddamn happy we got them together, bro. That's
Yeah,
all I wanted. All I
I
fucking
agree. That's
wanted.
what my biggest thing in Act One. I think like like I said, I had things that were, I mean, you call them criticisms, but it's just little things, very little. It was like a bit of the pacing, like when Vi and Jinx like meet back up. I was wanting more of like quiet moments rather than them just like yeah they're gonna fight obviously because they have the confrontation,
Yeah.
but I wanted to see them like kind of try to reconcile it more, have those sweet moments to bring it back together. And I think Act Three like gave and two in the middle of it gave a lot
Right.
of that.
Oh,
So it was
two. Yeah, two was. Oh, two had me in tears, man. Because for me, I paralleled Jinx with Anakin, to be completely honest. And
I
in a
I can see that.
yeah, it's like the tragedy, But in a
Hmm.
sense, I guess I see Jinx as like my redemption Anakin that I never got.
Yeah,
And
and it's
just to see like the two sisters together, bro, that's all I wanted.
yeah.
And then they're
Sorry,
together. What?
I was thinking about a joke that I saw. It said Isha wanted to be Jinx, but she ended up being Powder. I was like, no, don't do that.
No,
That hurts.
not her.
That was rough.
But that's a good segue though, because I feel like she really helped Jinx, because that was
Yes.
like her powder. Vi had powder,
Hmm.
Jinx had Isha, and then I feel like that kind of humanized Jinx into not being, without
Insane.
saying, yeah.
It was a filter for her insanity to kind of like get back to square one with her humanity.
Exactly. And then we got like Vanderback as Warwick, and then they had
Which
that
I got
moment
okay. See,
too.
I figured that. I was like, he has to be like a League of Legends character that
Yeah.
Vander's turning into, and because I kind of saw that with your first 3 episode thing where you said, "Oh, I feel
Mhm.
like I see what's happening with Vander," because that was like way left field for me. I'm like,
You're like,
what?
what the fuck?
What is this? And then once they like the Beast came to the prison, I was like, why do I feel like this is Vander? Like
Mhm.
I had the feeling like why do I think that's Vander? And then we said like, oh, like Powder. I was like, knew
You're like, yo, let's
it.
fucking
I'm
go.
over here feeling smart, and everyone over here that knows League of Legends is like, duh, you idiot.
Yeah. Well, see, I don't know much about League of Legends. I said that the first time. Don't judge me. But look, I was hinted at it with, with the first act in the first season, and then just being on like the Arcane side of like Instagram, TikTok, everything, just like
Mm,
doing my own knowledge and research. It seemed like that was very heavily hinted at that was going to happen. So then when I was seeing like those post credit scenes with that
mm-hmm.
beast, I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
yep,
see, that
that's
was very confusing to me. I was like, what is this guy doing? Like, I mean, I know he's a scientist and he just messes around with stuff because we're very clearly showing that, like, and we get to see this season why he's so obsessed with like trying to force evolution and like further his science and why he's so motivated. But yeah, I was
yeah.
so confused. I was like, what is he doing?
He's basically that dude from Full Metal Alchemist who changed like the girl into
Mm,
the fucking duck.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
but instead of forsaking his child, he's trying to save his child.
sure.
I mean, he's trying to save
it.
his daughter versus the other one. He was like, you know what? Why
I
can't
mean,
she be a dog person?
yeah, that's valid. That's,
Look,
that's
you're already on the wrong path if you're trying to turn your daughter into a furry.
why not? Slap it in there. Fuck it.
He took it too literally. She said, "Dad, I want a fursuit," and he was like, "I got you."
Watch this.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um.
but
But.
bro, that moment when it's Jinx and Vi like back together again, you got going through that whole
Mm,
process trying to get Vander back, and then the end. I forget if it was. I think it was the end episode 5, where like something happens, and then you just see like Jinx, and she like looks up, and then you see Vi and fucking Vander hugging, and she's like,
oh
"It's
yeah.
your dad too." Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah. It hurts.
destroyed. Oh, I
It's.
the fact that this show has me so invested in these fucking characters is insane. Like there's very few shows where I've been this invested in the characters. Like I
Mhm.
get
I.
invested in the characters in the movies and the TV. Like it's natural,
Mhm.
but this is different. This is like I've been saying forever,
Mhm.
man. This past Clone Wars for me. I'm sorry. This is better
I
than
agree.
fucking Clone Wars. This is
Mhm.
fucking cinema. Like it's
It's
it's on
really,
that
really.
level where I'm connecting with all those clones, but
Mhm.
it's like every character. It's insane. Oh,
it's it's really good, and like I was saying in terms like earlier, the pacing, like I think the first like 6 episodes, my every a lot of things were happening really fast, like we were
mm-hmm.
jumping from one beat to the other really really quickly, where it was Vi is now enforcer, and then
Mm-hmm.
fight. Caitlyn abandons her. Vi is with this, and then like it just thinks, and Victor comes in. He's now the herald, and it felt
Jesus.
like things were happening very quick, and I was like, oh, slow down. And like, because I had so many questions, like I felt like we were skipping over a bunch of things where I needed the
Yeah.
hows and whys. Like it was thing happened, but I didn't know why it happened, and then I think the third act gave me a lot of that, and
Mm.
I especially with like because I was wondering where's like at the middle of the second half is like where's Echo and Heimerdinger?
Yeah, they were
I was like,
completely gone.
where did they go? What's wrong? Why is Jace the way he is right now? Like it's
Yeah.
like what happened? And then obviously episode 7 is probably my favorite.
Oh,
Like,
that's gonna be
dude,
that's good. I'm gonna get into that
that
one. So
that was
let's
whoa.
cover the rest of this before I get into that one. Because
Right.
fuck
Because honestly,
me.
like, what even was episode 1, 2, and 3? Like, it's so hard for me to think
So
now.
yeah, it's hard to look back because you see so
Isn't into
much.
episode 3 like the fight between Vi and Jinx? Like, it
Yes.
built up to that.
What did it? I think so. Yeah, because then you had yes, it was because you had Jace,
Mm-hmm.
Echo, and Heimerdinger, Ashes to Blood, which is on my TV right now. Like
Mm-hmm.
that song going, and then he like touches the hex core, and then like in the
Mm-hmm.
fight between Vi, Caitlyn, Savika, Jinx, you see all like the hex tech like corrupting while they're fighting. So yeah,
Right.
that was the end of that was 3, and then I can't remember 4 though. I'll tell you that much.
4 was like I think it started. I can't remember if it started with, but I think it started with the montage of Vi like at her lowest, like when she's in the fight pit, and I think that's how that
Mm,
started. And well, maybe it started because I know Caitlyn. You see her with, you know,
and
her
Bessa,
new squeeze.
and yeah,
No,
that
yeah,
bitch.
like yeah, yeah.
Fuck that bitch.
We hate her around here. Anyway, I don't even remember her name.
Maddie, that
Oh yeah,
little.
well, yeah. She I can't remember if like Investa talked about it or like when I can't like it's hard to place now. Like I wish I had notes on it like when the scene happens. Cuz at the end of the third thing is when or the third episode is when Jinx's like bombs go off in the city and everything like that happens.
Yeah,
And then fourth I think is when they elect Caitlyn as the new like commander or whatever. Which speaking of,
no, I think that.
Mbessa has all. Oh, go
Sorry,
ahead.
I think that's 3. I think that's the end of 3 because I feel like that was the end of an act. Because I felt like I was like, okay, what the fuck are we about to do now? And then I feel like 4 started with her and Maddie, because I know 5 and 6 definitely was Vi
Mm-hmm.
and Jinx and Caitlyn
Mm-hmm.
doing the whole thing with Victor Christ. And
Yeah.
but
Look,
yeah,
that
then
brings
in
up a question
Ambessa.
though about Mbessa. It's like she came to this city, and my question is, why does this woman have so much freedom and power here? Like she walks in and like enters, she's just like, "Hey, I can make decisions," and they're like, "Yeah, that makes sense." Yeah.
She just
It's like
walks in and
the Noxians just walk in. They're like, "Yeah, so we're a
we
part of
run
the
this
military
bitch.
now." Yeah, and we're running things, and I'm like, why is everyone just letting this happen? And who says she can make decisions? Like, what's happening?
Hey
Like,
man,
unless there's like some League of Legends lore. Yeah, oh yeah, it was hype. I'm not gonna, but it just I was like you can just decide this, like
it's her aura, bro. She walked in with so much fucking aura. She just
yeah, I
ran
guess
things.
so. I do like the how Mbessa kind of filled that mother figure hole that Caitlyn just previously lost. And I feel like that's a good reason for why she was able to be in Caitlyn's ear without
Yeah.
much coercing because she was looking for that because she just lost that and it was filling that void.
Yeah,
And
plus
so
her
I
being
like how
so
that happened.
vengeful and like against
Mhm.
Jinx, and then even though as we see with Mel, she's not a
Mhm.
good mother.
Yeah,
So
that
to
understatement.
have yes, yeah, so to have her as like a mother figure, like taking Caitlyn under her wing is yeah, yeah, no,
Absolutely.
bad times. But
Which is
then
also could be a duality of not duality, I don't know how else to put it, but like her trying a third time with another child, like, oh maybe I
yeah,
can,
a
do
third,
it right with
third
her.
time's a charm.
Yeah.
Fucking
I've
hell.
only gotten one killed so far, so 50%
one
is pretty good.
One thing I'll say that like I'm not sure if this is more of a League of Legends thing or just whatever, that I feel like I needed just a little bit more on is the Black Rose, that whole like witches
Yeah,
like coven thing.
yeah.
Cause
Because like I completely agree because they feel like a very abrupt antagonist. Like there's a lot of different sides. I wouldn't even say there's a protagonist and antagonist. Like there's very everything's like very gray, and I like that.
yeah,
But it the Black Rose there's not given a lot of details on which I don't want too many details. I like mystery, but at the same time, what did
just a
Mbessa do
little
with
bit.
them?
Yeah,
Why is there a conflict? Like, why do they have a conflict? Is it just Mbessa's ambition? Is like they're trying to keep it in check? Are they the mages? Do they keep the balance of the world? Is like, why do they care? And what is the
yeah.
problem? What was her transgression? And so, yeah, I
Like
agree. I wish there was more on that.
I feel like at the end there, they explained it, but I felt like they didn't explain it enough. Maybe I'm just a
Yeah.
dumbass, but like I felt
Yeah.
like
No.
there could have
Yeah. I
been a
feel you.
little bit more there. Because I
Right.
understand, they have the quarrel and then whatever happened with the brother, even though I don't fully understand what the secret was that ended up getting,
Uh,
like the
I
brother
think it was just
killed or whatever.
I don't. Well, the only secret that I like, I'd have to watch it again to try to like really, really, listen. But as far as my first takeaway was like Mel, like her birth and her ancestry, like what happened because he's talking about how she was like an affair, basically.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was like a lie
I was
or
like, is that the
whatever,
only thing?
because
Well, I
yeah,
mean, she is a mage,
but
so I mean, I
yeah,
guess
that's got to be true in some sense. So
right.
maybe that's what it was. Like she came
Hmm.
in, like got with like some mage dude or chick or however that works, and then
Hmm.
I guess kind of did the same thing. She was trying to do a Piltover, maybe.
Possibly like trying to use their magic for her as a weapon
Yeah,
because that's what the mage woman of the Black Rose talking about. Like she sees a weapon in everyone, trying to like further her own goals.
exactly.
So, which
Okay.
I have a lot of questions about Noxian culture. One,
So
their
do
their
I.
face mask, they look like Mandalorian thing, and it looks sick. I
it
love their armor; it looks
it
awesome.
does.
But like at the end there, it was kind of like a unofficial but official like combat, like duel, like like trial by combat to decide who is right or wrong here. But for like usually that's a one-on-one thing, but for some reason they were okay with Mel and Caitlyn double teaming. Like as like I didn't fully understand because like no one
Yeah.
said anything. It was just they just formed up, and then I
Yeah, and they
guess
were just like, I guess they were
maybe.
just like the battle ring
Hmm.
arena or whatever the hell.
Well, it would make sense though for Mbessa to be like, I'm fighting these two, don't step in. That I
Yeah,
don't want you to step in. So that adds up with her character. She's very very prideful. So
yeah,
that makes
exactly.
sense. But
And then,
anyway,
okay, so then you had, we
we're jumping
did
around so
see,
much.
I know that, I know we are, but we're kind of going in a line here because then we got fucking Echo Heimerdinger gone for a whole second act,
Hmm.
but then
Yeah.
Jace just comes in.
Was it episode 4 that it disappeared or 5?
It would have been 3 at the end of the first act. Yeah,
Was it at the end of
because
the first act?
yeah, unless I'm wrong, let me know. But
I,
if we,
I can't remember.
because what we were talking about, how like that's when Jace
Hmm.
touched the hex core, and like between
Hmm.
Vi,
And they just
Jinx, and everyone, all the things was
Oh,
happening.
true, true,
Yeah, so then
true.
that's
Yeah.
when they like disappeared, and we were like, well, what's going on? And
Yeah,
then they
what
were
happened?
gone the whole second act until the very end
And
when
then
Jace
and then
just
Jace
appeared.
shows up. Yeah, and you're like, what happened to Jace? Why does he look like this? And all of a sudden he's just like, what's up, Victor? And you're like, whoa.
This man looking like peak male perfection out of
Yeah.
nowhere. Like, goddamn. And then that's another thing. That this random council member that I felt like wasn't even in the first season is now like a huge part in the second season.
Sallow?
Yeah, Sallow, that's his name. And then
Yeah,
he
yeah. He was
like
he was slight, but he was just just the uptight guy. Not the uptight, but the
yeah,
hoity-toity guy that thinks, "Oh, I'm better than everyone," council member, and who's
yeah,
obviously corrupt.
yeah.
But
And then then he ends up like not being able to walk or whatever. Victor
Hmm.
does his little
After the
thing,
attack.
and then Jace just says, "Fuck you, bitch."
Yeah.
Boom. Like,
He's like, yeah, I can't let you leave. Like, I'm sorry you feel that way. Like, yeah, I am sorry too, bud. Like, whoa, Jace.
that was
Wow.
insane. Especially because Jace, like, the
Hmm.
first season, he's like, oh my god, what did I
Hmm.
just do? Then
Which that
he's
was like my if you would have talked to me about episode 6 right after, like at the end of it, and I hadn't watched the last 3 episodes, then I would have been like, this is a really big turn for Jace. This is a lot. And
yeah,
like one killing someone seemingly so easily, and then also like going against Victor, even though Victor seemingly is doing good at this point, why would he think anything else? So
mm.
I was like, you can't just yada yada off screen that big of a leap, which that was my criticism in episode 7. Obviously answered that, and it's
Yeah,
like, oh
they.
yeah, okay, yeah, justified. No,
Oh yeah, 100%. And
justified.
that's what I like too is that they at the end of each of these acts, even in season one, they always leave you with some kind of question, and then they Christopher Nolan it at the end and give you every answer right in front of your face, right here.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Like it's not like left up for questions.
I agree for a lot of that, but there is one thing that still bothers me to this moment. Who is that guy that Vi got drunk with? The
That's
whole...
a good question.
I thought there was gonna be an explanation for this. This leads a whole
Loris.
lot of questions. I have a whole lot of questions now. Okay, that reminded me. So, like in the beginning of Act 1, 2, 3, that have the like the attack on the like the public the ceremony for the 3 dead council members,
Yep.
and then the 2 people that talked to Vi, the guy and the girl that came up while she was drunk and talked to him,
Yeah.
him, and the drunk guy, for reasons, become part of the special ops team to go find
All right.
Jinx. My question is like, I get Vi, why Caitlyn would want Vi, but
Yeah.
why is this guy here?
I guess because
What is he
Vi
doing?
wanted him. I
But the thing
mean,
is, Vi knew him for, unless there was a time skip that wasn't really spoken about, but like it just seemed like it was the next day, kind of. It's like,
yeah.
how long did Vi know this guy, and why does he trust her? Like, why does she trust him enough to be like, yeah, I vouch for this guy. He's top notch. He didn't even have a voice line until like the Act 3. I didn't know what his name was.
Yeah,
Like, why is this guy everywhere?
I didn't know his name until episode 9.
Yeah, I'd already forgot it. Like
I've
he's a solid dude, but
yeah.
like it was very he felt really like ham fisted in, like, well, and I get like, oh yeah, he kind of looks like Vander, so she's like maybe emotionally attached to him, but it doesn't like, oh yeah, he's qualified to come do this with us. And then these 2 seemingly rookie cops, like the girl that
Mhm.
Caitlyn ended up with, it's like,
Maddie.
yeah, they just part of it. But yeah,
I
that was my
feel
biggest thing. I was
like
like, guy.
maybe Loris was always an enforcer because we saw that he, obviously ended up on the special ops team. He was some kind of
Mm,
enforcer. I'm just going to say maybe he has always been an enforcer and then he was just, one
maybe.
of those guys who's like just out there getting drunk. He's like this all this I mean, I
Hmm.
don't blame him with all that crazy shit. I'd be right there with the both of them. I'd be like,
No,
fuck
yeah,
this
I
shit.
get it. It's just I don't know. I wish
And
there was
it
just a little bit more like for this man that just seemingly came out of nowhere. There might be more of it, like more of him with League of Legends that I just don't understand.
yeah.
But
And I feel
yeah,
like
that was
if I'm right, I believe we're getting a new series with these Arcane creators that's going to talk about like different I guess like a different land, different characters, still same universe kind of thing. So
okay.
maybe there they can expand on Loris because obviously, they only had this season and then that was it.
Hmm.
Now Arcane's over and my life is over and I don't know what to do
Yeah, it sucks
anymore.
that I do appreciate that it's bookended. Like, I feel like that's a lost thing nowadays with most things where it's like, oh, if something's popular, they will find a way to just
Yep.
drag it on and keep it moving, but eventually it just ruins the story. I like how there's a front and a back, and the book is closed. Like, it is a good story.
Yeah. And they did great with the limited time that they had. And then
Hmm.
I guess that segues me into the beautiful, incredible episode 7, which I never want to leave, and I just want to live in that universe. And Echo is
Dude,
literally just
yeah.
like me for real, and like that was everything. I was like, oh my god.
hmm I really thought, kudos to Echo because like I really, it would have been hard in his shoes if I was him to be like, why would I want to leave?
Yeah,
I get it. You feel a responsibility for, the people that you knew, and this isn't really where you belong, but it would be very tempting to be like, this is how things should have been.
yeah,
But, Vi's
but
also gone, which
yeah,
that's
but
painful.
that I mean that also does open up a question which I'll ask later. I'm gonna write it down so I
Mhm.
don't forget. But
Yeah, write that down. Write that down.
write that down. But also with you know how what was it? The heist that went wrong, and then that was everything,
Mhm.
and then Vi and presumably Jace are dead in that universe.
That's what I was thinking too, because if Hex Tech never came to be, then I would assume that Jace probably died in the explosion along with Vi.
Mm-hmm.
That would make sense. And
So
then Victor,
then,
and obviously never be getting access to Hex Tech, wouldn't be able to do everything that he did.
yep. So he's just like wherever,
Probably
and
dead,
then
honestly.
probably,
I
yeah,
mean, the disease probably
probably,
got him, dude. He was right
probably.
there on the edge in the middle of the first season.
But then that also will lead into the whole thing there because Shimmer would have never happened because Silco and Vander are like OGs. So
hmm
like we have to assume that Silco never hooks up with that Singed guy. So he's
Or
doing whatever.
maybe he does, and he just it doesn't go the same route. Maybe I don't know. We didn't get to. I wanted to stay. Like I said, I wanted to like be there. It's like let's just stay here for the like. I was
I
like,
know, bro. It was
let's go.
so
Let's go over here for a few seasons and just let's just enjoy happy times. But I like the tragicness of it, like knowing that it's like this isn't really the reality. It's a
yeah.
reality, but it's not our reality, and you have to accept that. And that's powerful,
Unfortunately.
and I appreciate it. I wouldn't
Yeah.
mind a what if series about it.
Yeah, no, because honestly, I'm the same. I'm like, fuck that. I'm gonna stay right here. You know, life is good. The underworld is good. Vander, Benzo,
hmm
Milo, Clagger, everyone's there. Silco's a
Yeah.
fucking G. I'm all fucking like wifed up
hmm
with the baddest chick in the goddamn universe. Like,
Yeah.
other than Vi
It's
not being there, it's like,
Yeah, that sucks. But if they could have pushed the time loop back far enough.
that's what
But
I'm
then he's
saying.
taken away that Echo's life. Like he doesn't get to experience that anymore,
Yeah,
which is sad too.
yeah,
I wonder. That's
exactly.
what I like that like not answering. I was a little frustrated. I was like, oh, I want him to say something to her. Like, look, I'm not from here. Like, I wanted
Yeah,
that, but I'm glad that they didn't because that at the end where she saw our universe's
yeah.
Echo, like leaving that in her mind, like, oh, this you're a different person.
Yeah.
This is and
That
like I'm
dream you were
imagining,
talking about isn't a dream. It
yeah,
was,
like the powder of this universe, like she's very smart. She's always smart wherever she is, but like I think she could piece it together and be like, I see why you were so desperate for this now,
mhm.
and in making sense of it. I think that was really cool.
Yeah.
And
And,
Heimerdinger, bro, rip Heimerdinger.
yeah, god damn, bro. Oh, man. But,
She was not even like, no, Heimerdinger. She was like, anyway, Echo.
yeah, I mean, really, because that man said
Yeah,
he'd been there for 1,000 some days. She would have
yeah,
known him at least.
that's a lot of that's like years and years.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But,
Also, his song while they were like going through like the montage and everything, it was awesome. I love that song because I was like, it sounds like Heimerdinger singing, and then like
it
transition,
was.
I was
It
like, ah,
was.
yeah, dude, it
Yo.
sounded so good. I was like, I just need Bard Heimerdinger in this nice place forever. I'm just gonna lay in my bed and play a song on loop and imagine better times.
Exactly. I'm like, this is how Arcane ends. It's
Yeah.
just,
Episode, it's like, how'd you feel about episode 8? It's like, what?
what do you
There is no
mean?
episode 8. What are you talking
I don't know what you're
about?
talking
It just
about.
ended on episode 7. Like,
Yeah,
oh, but you saw Echo go away. No, 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 he didn't go away. Like, it ends, right? You know,
yeah,
they're at the party. They kiss and boom, credits. That's what
yeah.
happens.
Credits roll. And I'm glad they
Beautiful.
play that too, because we
Mm,
obviously, they're kids in the first like half,
mhm.
but you saw that
Yeah.
relationship between Echo and Powder where it's like, oh, potentially. And then you saw whenever they had
Mm.
their incredible fight with Dynasty and Dystopia playing with the whole, oh,
Yeah.
that was beautiful.
I'll say
But
I didn't
this,
expect them to like do it like a romantic way, but like I was like, oh, I'm not mad at this though. This is cool, and like especially with Echo being like, because he fervently hated Jinx, like
yeah.
hates her. So like when he's like first obviously when he first shows up in that universe, he's like, oh yeah, I'm about to murder her. He was just ready. So
Yeah.
it's
Well,
seeing that like coming around.
he hates her for like I guess what she took away in a sense and what
Mhm.
she became. Because even when they fought in the first season, you saw he couldn't pull the trigger because he still
Mhm.
saw, you know, Powder.
Powder.
Powder's
Yeah.
there. She's in there somewhere, which she was, as we saw, even though
Mhm.
she's grown up and still Jinx. She at the end is like a changed woman, and I
At the
love
end.
that.
Let's talk about the end, bro. Ow.
I will say before we move on, I'll just say I love that kiss scene on the rooftop so much. Like
Hmm.
it's almost it, it's not almost. It's fucking perfect. Okay. I'm gonna
It
sit
was
here and
good.
glaze because I don't fucking care. It's perfect. Like
I like the hesitance. I'm glad that they didn't just go in like he was just like he felt conflicted, and I don't think it was because he
yeah.
like didn't feel right about it. I think he felt like oh like I shouldn't be enjoying this right now. Like, he felt guilty almost like a survivor's guilt esque type thing. Like oh I shouldn't be doing this right now.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna disagree. I think you're right, but I also see it as that also coupled with this isn't my life. Like she doesn't
Hmm.
know me from me. So then that's
Exactly.
why he was kind of like, can we pretend it's the first time? Because she obviously has
Hmm.
had her echo,
Yeah.
but this isn't
Different
her
experiences.
echo. Yeah. And he wanted that because I mean, let's be
Mm.
honest, I feel like if any of this never happened, that's what it would have been like.
Yeah,
So,
it was. And I love like the transitioning because like it was very sweet watching all that, but we're like not thinking about the bad parts that are happening, like going back and forth with Jace, like what's going on with him, because that was
mm,
really cool to see like his because you're gonna like because I thought in episode 5 when he showed up or 6 was like he's mad, like why is he crazy and like he was in like who knows how long he was at the bottom of that cavern, like
yeah.
and eating whatever he had to, doing whatever he had to. And I like how I like the visual like symbolism of breaking down the hammer to like enable him to move on and forward and climb back up, like
Yeah.
moving on from that. Granted, he gets another hammer, but it's for different reasons. But like I just like
Yeah.
the symbolism of it.
No, it's great. It's absolutely great. And then like, they tied that all in as like a this is what was happening while they were gone in act 2
Yeah,
and now we're going to continue the story. And that was
yeah.
great because we also then
I'm
the
glad
next
they did that.
episode got to catch up with Mel, who is a fucking G, bro. She
Yeah,
is she's awesome. Like that.
yeah. Her storyline, like in the first act and second, like it just felt like like not much was going on. It felt
Yeah.
like, and then all of a sudden she just oh, this big like rose chain, everything gone. She's gone. It's like okay, well that was very abrupt. And then she's in a room with not her brother talking, and then we go away from that. I'm like, I have so many questions, and I'm glad that it picked up on that and
Yeah,
actually
with the
explained
whole
it.
Black Rose thing,
Mhm.
which we already talked about. But, and then getting the answer too as to how they survived
Yeah,
from that whole explosion at the beginning, which again is
because
like bringing it
Jace
back.
was at like the head of the table next to
Yeah.
her, right? Like right where the explosion was. Because I had a question about this. Like, well, why did they die? They were like right there.
Hmm.
But that makes sense now.
Yeah. And
So
then it's like almost like it was like a subconscious thing because she didn't know she was a fucking like mage or
hmm
whatever.
it's the
And
reaction.
yeah, and we saw it. It's like a Spidey sense. And
Yeah, yeah.
we saw it like glow at the end of season 1, like right as the rocket hits the thing. So it's like something's
Mhm.
there. She ain't dying. Something's gonna happen there. So I'm glad we got that answer too. And then she turned out to be a fucking G.
Yes. She's very. She learned how to use her powers very quickly. I think it must be like an innate thing, just like once you
Oh yeah.
know, it's like, oh, you have your toe dipped in. It's like, oh, someone asks you, what does being underwater feel like? It's like, oh, I can kind of give you an idea, but like once you're in, like you're in, and she just knows everything.
Mm-hmm.
How like just kind of like an extension of herself.
Yeah, because it's like she's always had it, so it's always been there. She just didn't know, so it
Hmm.
was subconsciously always there. So it's almost just like your body already is adapted to it and knows it's there, and it does its thing. So then now you're connecting your mind to it. It's almost just like taking control of it. It's like you're not. I
Yeah.
guess you're not really learning because you already know.
Yeah.
Just you
You're
don't. You don't know that you know, but you know.
pulling back the veil of ignorance. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, it's like you're looking through like a blurry window, and all of a sudden it just, oh, it makes sense now. Like,
Hmm.
I understand it now.
I understand it now.
Yeah, but it was very good. I don't even know like where we're at right now in terms of like
We're just
no, oh,
yapping.
the
It's
fight. Yeah, we're just yapping, going everywhere. But like the
But it's
fight
perfect.
between Not Jace, God, Jinx and Vi, um, it hurt because Vi, like, she is going through a lot because she's trying to
Yep.
like reconcile with what happened. She probably feels responsible for Caitlyn's mom, so she's trying to do what she can for her. But then she doesn't, like, she's like, oh, I think I'm ready to, like, Jinx is not my sister. She's dead. Then she can't do it. And then she's like telling Caitlyn, like, hey, you're out of control. You're gonna become her. And then Caitlyn abandons her, and then she is just wrecked.
Yep.
Like,
And
it's terrible.
I will say I guess the opening credits are beautiful, but also it kind of
Mhm.
spoils that clash between Caitlyn and Vi right in it.
Mhm.
But I can't really fault it because the first season it has the whole Vi
Yeah.
and Jinx thing going on, and sure, League of Legends players, you understand, but like this
Yeah.
show also isn't just like for League of Legends players.
Oh no.
Like
Yeah.
it's for everyone. You're starting that whole story, and honestly, not even sure if it's in the whole same universe at this point, which could
Mhm.
be a later discussion. But that whole clash, expected it to happen, but I'm gonna do those Isha defenders justice and kind of talk about her a little bit.
If people have
She's
problems with Isha, I have little problems with Isha, but nothing like existentially wrong.
yeah, no. I feel like we just didn't cover enough about her real quick.
Hmm.
She was just such a huge integral part in Jinx's story, in Vi and Jinx's story, because like you said, she saw Isha defend Jinx and was like, oh shit, you know, she isn't just like this fucking terrorist, honestly.
Hmm. Yeah.
She is like, there's people that look up to her. You have all the people who had like the blue hair, which Vi saw
Hmm.
again at the end. But so I feel like that had her pull her punch a little more too and get so mad at Caitlyn because like, hey, this could also start even more of a war.
Hmm.
And especially if you're gonna kill a fucking kid.
Yeah. Well, she said I wasn't gonna miss, which,
It's like,
I mean, fair enough. She's a pretty good shot, but the fact that she was willing to even risk it was the big deal.
yeah, because Caitlyn before this whole revenge thing would not have risked that shot. 100%
No,
would not
she.
have ever even considered taking that shot.
Hmm.
And then, oh, my poor Isha went out. Sacrifice.
Yeah, with her, like I love seeing them together and like her, you know, and honestly, like I wouldn't even say that Jinx is a great role model, but like I like that, like how she's like, like Jinx is learning to be a better person through trying, like, oh, I realize this kid is like watching me and
Yeah,
emulating me, and I'm trying to take care of her, and she's trying to stop her from doing reckless things, but like she's watching you do reckless things. That's why she's doing the reckless things, because she likes you,
exactly.
and I like to think, because we didn't, well, at least not remembering a lot of like build up for the Jinxers, like people that believed in her as a like revolutionary. I don't think Jinx took a lot of steps to really. enforce that. I like to
Yeah, well,
think
because she
that
wasn't trying to. Also, like she didn't
yeah,
want to
and
be
that's
this
why
leader.
I was like, what made them? Because like for the longest time, at least in the underworld, while Vander was gone and Jinx was around, everyone knew her as, oh, she's a psychopath dog that works for Silco, you
Uh huh.
know, and even Savika, like she thought that over, like she's just a wild animal that we use as a weapon, and
Yeah.
she can't be trusted. Seeing Savika come around to Jinx is nice, but I had questions about that in the way of like, does she know that Jinx killed Silco? Because she was
I
really
was just
loyal to
thinking
Silco.
that. And did she
It's like
ever find out? I don't know if she ever found out, or did she?
I mean, Jinx, so it didn't look like she was trying to. I mean, she obviously wasn't trying to hide it because she told
No.
what's his face, started his face like, oh yeah, when I killed him.
Sweet.
Uh, yeah, and it's like so,
That-
but like, but did Savika ever find that out? And like, would she have a problem with that? I'd like to have seen that like that back and forth. And because I get it, Savika's looking at her like, I'm seeing in her what Silco saw in her, kind of like a Savika's being like a older sister aunt maybe type of
yeah.
role.
Yeah.
So
It's like two loners too, because
mhm.
you got Silco
They both lost
gone.
everything together.
Yeah. It's like a best whatever Silco was to her, whether it's like a best friend or like that
Hmm.
whatever, and then Jinx and her like father figure, her second father, gone. Second time.
Yeah,
So
they both kind of
it's
lost their meaning, their purpose, and they were trying to find
mhm.
it in each other. Whether and hesitantly at first, but end up working together. Like I like how she was hesitant to walk into that hero role, like Jinx was. She's like, "Oh, I'm just saving the people." She only really did it because Isha was taken.
Yep.
I feel like she's like, "Oh, whatever. It's not really my problem," but she had to go save her little sister, which
Exactly. And then
Isha became powder.
seeing Jinx too at the end there, like in the cell, almost just like giving up, like she's done. Like she's like,
Yeah.
I'm
We're
going
in Act 3 now.
out. Yeah, we've jumped around so much,
Yeah.
but yeah. So I think we're nearing the end here, 8 and 9. So
Yeah.
just her in that cell, like going, just not. She went crazy. She's kind of stopped her visions like this entire season too. You could see them disappear, which was nice. But
Hmm.
just like how she was so done, she's ready to just die. Like she's like, this is
Yeah.
over. It's time for me to end this cycle when she's talking to like her Silco vision or whatever.
Hmm.
It's I loved it. I loved the whole hair unbraided, how long it
Hmm.
was, and then you see that she ended up
Yeah.
just chopping it off Rapunzel
Hmm.
style.
Right. I agree. And like she was very committed to that choice because I mean, when Echo comes to talk to her, she made that decision like 5 or 6 times. She was like, "Yep, I'm done. I'm
Like,
done. I'm
no,
done." Yeah.
nope.
And he's like, "Well, this isn't working. Let me just dive down." And like, "Nope. Okay. Well." But then in the end, does it anyway, but for not the same reasons.
Exactly.
And
And you
I
had
think because like, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no, you can finish that. You're good.
I was gonna
Finish.
say because like it was more of you know I'm like it puts an end like oh yeah this is holding down kind I don't know if she's like this is the only reason but she's like this is baggage me and Vander still continuing to go on like let's just end it there's no need to continue trying to reconcile if it's just done
Mm-hmm.
and it felt good it didn't feel good but it felt like I would say it tore my
Yeah.
heart out and I was like I
Oh,
felt for Vi because she's just like bro
she just
Vi's
got her
lost everything
back.
so many times dude.
Like she lost her, then she got her back too. Like she actually got her
Yeah.
back. Like we didn't think that was gonna
Yeah.
happen. Even at the end
Mhm.
there, when she walked away, we're like, "Fuck, dude!" Then she got her back,
Mhm.
and because of Echo, she
Yep.
got all like everything that she technically lost. She got back, just to lose
Yes.
again.
Yeah. Right.
Like,
Like just to enjoy for a few minutes and then it's just gone again.
mm-hmm. And then that
That's why.
whole
That's why at the end of that episode, bro, I was just sitting here like,
dude, I
what's the point
know.
of life?
Just watching the credits roll in the
Yeah.
absolute silence. Oh, it
Mhm.
hurt. It
Learning
hurt
who the Dutch
good and
voice actors
bad.
were, just like I saw all the different languages of voice actors. I'm like, bro,
Man,
like I'm not okay.
no. Oh, and we had okay. Let's just get into the last episode because so much happened that last episode.
Yeah. I
First,
feel like we're
before
very erratic because we both kind of watched it in a way that was like it was just like one whole story, so it just all like flowed together. So it's hard to pick
yep,
like end points.
I know.
But anyway,
Uh, it was it's so good though. And then so before we got into the very last episode, we had Echo figure out his whole time thing, which I know he has in the game. I know that. So like the whole
I
like
didn't know that.
time jumping thing with the time travel, it was hinted at in their first fight in season one, and then also hinted at in the credits, the opening
Mhm.
credits.
Yeah, the
How he
opening you
kind of
see him
like
like you jump
jumps
over and then
and
it would go
then
back. Yeah.
yeah. So we finally got that with him, and then we just went straight fucking end game into this last episode.
Yeah.
Like I thought there was going to be a little bit of a build up. No, it immediately went into the war.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
And so yeah, we're yeah, it was like they're talking about, and all of a sudden it's just cutting the scenes of Vi. Like we're here now, we're doing this.
yeah, I was like, is this like
Also, like I have
a
so many
vision?
questions about Piltover. Like, is Piltover like a nation? Or because like it's like this, there's a lot happening here for just a city. Like, is this a nation? Like, is this a part of a greater country? Like, can other people get involved other than just the Noxians? Like, what's happening in the greater world here? And does no
Yeah.
one care? Because it's like a world-ending event almost. Like,
Yeah, I think it's a nation, but it also went that end game route where it's going to affect absolutely everyone, but especially Piltover. Because,
yeah.
well, they said the name of it, I think. I forget what it was. It started with an R, though.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
Jace said it.
yeah.
Because you have Piltover and
Mhm.
then you have
Not gonna
Zaun,
attack just Piltover. It's gonna attack all of. I remember. Yeah, he
like
said it. I can't
Rose and
remember the
something,
exact
I
name.
think.
Yeah, I'd have to
Some,
look it up to be
yeah.
honest with you.
But so I think that's the nation. Then you have Piltover, and then you have Zaun, and
Hmm.
it was nice to see them eventually in that episode. They came together, even though at first it was like, no, we're not doing this, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them. I
Yeah.
wouldn't either. I'm like,
Dude, you seen all the crazy like as a citizen of Piltover or the Undercity, it's like have you seen all the crazy stuff that's happened in the past 10 years? It's like this is wild. I'm
yeah,
moving. Like this is crazy.
like for real. I guess in the end they realized that, like, especially when it came to like the invasion of the Undercity, that it was led by the Noxians and Ambessa. So I can
Mhm.
guess, I can see where they're like, okay, I won't blame you. It's not your fault entirely. Even though a lot of you chose to follow her, I can understand. Fine. Let's fucking take her
Mhm.
down. Let's do it.
Yeah, it's and that's funny too. Just speaking about that, because like in Act Two, when Vi bumps back into Caitlyn after they both had their like little mini arcs, and then she's like, and she calls her cupcake, and it's like, and Caitlin's like, I'll just do whatever you want now. You
Yep.
got
It's
me.
like, okay.
It's like, yeah, oh, like, I got it. Like, don't worry, I have a plan, Violet, and it's gonna involve you spitting on my face. That has nothing to do with me or my feelings or anything, but it's very crucial that you do it.
Yeah. And then we're gonna
Bro calls her
fuck in a
cupcake
jail cell.
one time, putty in her hands. It just melts her heart. Which fair. They
And
do
then they fuck in a
goth
jail
mommy
cell.
by, bro. I'm that yeah.
I didn't expect that we were gonna get that. I was
No, I
surprised.
did love the like Caitlyn feeling guilty. He's like, nope, before this, I have to let you know why you're gone. And Vi's like, I do not fucking care.
She's
It's
just
like,
like me,
yeah.
fool. She's like, I don't
They're
fucking
like, yeah,
care.
you don't. Yeah, that I love that. That was funny. Like, I was like,
Yeah.
I don't fucking care.
But I'm also there. I'm like, I'm rooting for it because with the whole
Mhm.
Echo and Powder thing, that whole episode, I'm sitting there, I'm like, come on, come on. I'm sitting there
Mhm.
like
I was
Sebastian,
rooting for
like,
Echo.
kiss
Let's
the
go, boy.
girl.
Yeah.
And then
Like, you
that
can do
time,
it,
I'm
Echo.
like, let's fucking go. I waited
Mhm.
2 seasons for them to do that. So they finally
Mhm.
did it. I'm like, fuck yeah. And then fucking whatever the hell Ambessa had like on her arm cooking up. That was like
Yeah,
making
that was
her.
on what's his name's staff, and he kept putting it in the fire and burning it like runes to absorb like magical energy or
Okay.
arcane energy. Because
Yeah.
remember when Jinx was shooting at him and it was like absorbing it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what. I mean, they're like seemingly runes. I don't know how he knows how to use them or where he got them from or what. But Investa grabs them after he dies.
Hmm.
And oh, speaking of like when she has him on her arm and that whole fight scene, bro, when freaking Mel uses the magic to ricochet that bullet and shoot Maddie in the head, I
I
was
was
like,
like, let's
yes,
go!
yes.
Finally!
Because as soon as like it had the like they knocked her out and it was like obviously it had the enforcer like glow and I was like okay so someone betrayed her and then I was like I think I know who this is because I'm about to say
Hmm.
of course she's gonna feel slighted by her just getting back with Vi with like seemingly no explanation because we don't see them talk about it.
Yeah.
Um, and then you see her like just in the shadow before it like reveals who it is. I'm like it's that bitch, isn't it?
Hmm. And they
But
hinted at it too,
anyway, it was
because
very
she
sad.
was like, she was glazing Ambessa and all her decisions, like the whole time
Hmm.
too. So it's almost like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, everything just clicked. I was like, I fucking knew it.
Hmm.
I knew it.
Yeah.
This bitch, dude. And then when we think all is fucking lost, you have fucking Jinx and Echo rolling that bitch with
Yeah.
the hardest fucking soundtrack, the most aura I've ever fucking seen. I was like levitating. I
Yo,
was like,
she loves a spectacle.
oh,
Loves to make an entrance.
and I loved it. And it's everything I wanted because, like I said, man, all I want is her and Vi together, and we
Hmm.
fucking got it. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, it was perfect. The
Yes.
whole Undercity Zon coming back.
Yeah.
But then we have fucking Victor Christ over here.
Yeah.
This
Dude is
motherfucker.
he's got to be a character in the game, dude.
Oh,
That
he
that
is.
last look he had, I'm like that is so unique of
Hmm.
like this has got to be his player model in the game.
Yep, that it is. You're right. That's his game look. But yeah,
Yeah, I was
no.
like, because there's a lot of people where their looks like changed very abrupt. Like, I wouldn't have known that Jace's armor right there at the end was his in-game model unless I saw a meme earlier today. Though I saw that and like in the the graphics of the game, I was like, oh. So when I saw it in the show, I was like, aha, we've come full circle.
Yeah. But like Victor's whole like split face, but it's like still like right here too, was really
Hmm.
tripping me out. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah. It was like every time I looked at him, I was like, because I wanted to look at his eyes, but his other eyes were also like still there but closed. So it very much like my brain was like what it's like it's almost like so, like if you're having an unfortunate situation of where you're trying to like keep eye contact with somebody but there's something over there like you really want to look at it, like it's just so hard to try to focus on one thing
yeah.
so it's just it's but yeah anyway it's cool though because it's kind of symbolized like this thing that came from Victor isn't like really Victor. You can see
Yeah.
where it has where he what he used to be but it's not like him. It's
Yeah,
like tainted.
exactly. And then I knew it wasn't gonna work, the whole shutting down the hex gates. But the way he just walked in there and just
Yeah.
immediately was just like, nope. I was like, are you
It's
fucking
like
kidding me?
yeah, it's like yeah, I like appreciate all that work you were doing. That's pretty cute. But anyway, just let me just
Anyways,
undo all of that.
yep, and I'm gonna
Yeah, I'm
take
forced
that and just
Jesus.
fly up.
Oh, dude, I was screaming at Jace because like Jace had such commitment, such like fervor and thrive, like just to do like act. Like I am going to prevent this, and he told what ended up being Victor like I won't fail.
Yep.
And then Victor's walking past him. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna go grab this, and Jace is just like, set this place up. And
Yeah, and
then
then he
after
just
he grabs
flies.
and starts floating, then he's like, "Oh wait, yeah, I need to do
Okay.
something." I was like, "Why didn't you try to hit him before he grabbed the thing?" Come on, Jace,
It
pull it together.
almost makes me feel like I'm relating this to an Endgame a lot, but I almost feel like that was in a sense like the whole Doctor Strange, like one thing, the one outcome. It's like
Hmm.
I know it I mean, it may or may not have been because obviously that old man was Victor. I kind of thought it was whenever we saw him like walking out, becoming the whole Victor Christ with like his cane and everything. I was like, that looks a lot like the dude that pulled
Yeah,
up on Jace.
and then seeing him like in the background with Jace while he was in that alternate world,
Hmm.
and just like that that's like I feel like that's Victor walking around following him, but like he doesn't want to talk to him directly out of for whatever reason, probably guilt.
Yeah,
But
but I mean, we saw that Victor had tried this in multiple different like universes and timelines with multiple Jaces, and it's like, okay, so whatever Jace did this time, sure, was it kind of dumb just letting him walk and take that and all that happened? Yeah, but I guess in a
mhm.
sense it was all supposed to happen because, or
Yeah,
else it just would have been
I
another
did.
failed
I
Jace.
it felt a little clunky in terms of like the story. I know we had to get to the top. We had to get to the top of the thing. I just feel like maybe bad like they he swings at him, but like he gets it and then go. But that's a minor thing. It's not like a huge deal. Like you could easily say like, well, Jay still is dealing with a lot mentally with and especially looking at what Victor has become. Like we're
Yeah,
shocked by. Imagine someone who's spent years and years with this person. All of a sudden he comes in, he's split face, has an arm out of his back, and he's like, yeah, that's gonna
yeah,
be a lot to take in. And then so when they get up there, and then I love the moment of realization when he's holding the hammer, he realizes, oh my God, I'm in the exact same spot of what is about to happen, and
hmm
he's like kind of look like he has like a panic attack, like, oh my God, I wasn't able to change anything. It's all happening,
yeah.
and then
That's
it's like literally going through the fight of like Vi, Vander, and uh Jinx all at the same time.
yeah, and the whole like hit, fuck, like his hammer. This man needs accuracy because he he has only hit like one thing with that hammer, and it's been Sallow.
With like a swing? Yeah,
Yeah,
he doesn't hit many things with a swing. He's deadly with the shot, though. I mean,
he is, but he like when he swung at Victor, I'm like, bro, you're just gonna miss. Like
yeah,
just
I mean, honestly, one, the hammer's massive. Like it's like seeing, you're like, bro, I can see this coming from a mile away,
yeah.
and it's not like he swings it with ease. It's just like, ugh. Every time. It's like, bro, Jace, we've been down this path before. We know it's not gonna work.
Yeah, come on, man.
Just turn it into cannon mode. Just turn it into cannon mode, bro.
Oh, so then yeah, and then he does the whole thing with Victor. Victor realizes all that happens. Echo and his whole time loop. Thank God he pushed it.
Yeah.
I knew that boy was gonna push past. He
Hmm.
did, but then the unfortunate happens. We have the sisters back together, and
Hmm.
Jinx is dead. She dies.
Yes.
With
That's
Warwick is
with Vander.
Warwick. He's not Vander at that point anymore. Like Vander's completely
Yeah.
gone. You can't save him. She sacrifices
Yeah.
herself. Always be with you, sis. Made me fucking red eyed,
Dude,
face
yeah, I
all
was
red.
hurting. And I realized because, like, and she was holding on, and, like, it's like, they do a lot of symbolism, and this was just, like, another part of it, like, Powder or in Jinx and Vander, that's all weighing Vi down. She can never truly move on with her life, and, like, her holding all their weight, literally, like, she's holding on. She can't let go of
Yep.
what was, and she's just trying so desperately to cling to it. And I think like it was really beautiful seeing Jinx like let go for her. I let her let go,
Yeah.
making that decision for her, and then seeing Vi trying to come to terms with that again, like
Oh,
truly this time, like truly they are gone, and it is the end, and she needs to move forward with herself.
yeah. And it's even more painful too for Vi because not only like she's had moved on, but then we saw
Mhm.
in this season that not only did she not fully move on, but she was kind of getting everything back. And then you
Mhm.
had Jinx come back, which obviously she's gonna feel like she helped have a hand in, and Jinx is,
Mhm.
even though she's still Jinx, at the end of the day, she is her sister. She'll always be
Mhm.
her sister. Then you had fucking Warwick, so then you brought Vander back, which definitely destroyed her even more mentally. And
Yeah,
so definitely like at
it's
the
a
end
lot.
there, just letting all that go, it's like
Mhm.
it had to hurt a lot, especially because you thought that you did get everything back.
But I think that's kind of almost like a parallel with what Echo, like he's like, oh, I have everything I want, but at the same
Mm,
time, it's kind of a lie. It's like this isn't like you keep fighting for this thing of the past that you want to bring back together, but that doesn't exist anymore, and you need to let it go if you really want to be okay and move forward. And then like I think like I said, Jinx making that decision for her, like it's
uh-huh.
okay, you can let us go.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to hold on to this anymore.
It does warm my heart though. Just know that
Hmm.
Vi, her last, like, her seeing Jinx for the last time was her sister again. It
Yes,
wasn't it
they were.
wasn't Jinx, and it wasn't just like a
Hmm.
last minute like swap. Like she got to experience life with her sister a little bit more, and then she got
Hmm.
to see her sister who passed, not this terrorist Jinx who she has no idea who
Yeah.
that is. Oh
And dude, the scene of like her like getting closer to Vander, like, and then pulling we don't even get to see that. We just see her pull it out and we see the explosion.
yep,
It's just knowing like they went together.
I
Which
know.
Vander, dude, he needs
Oh.
a give that man a rest. He's been through
he need
so much. Just
he needs it.
let him die.
he needs
They
it,
won't.
bro.
Yeah.
Oh, so now I'm gonna bring this question up because I've had this.
Okay.
Is this the same universe as League of Legends? Because my well, we don't know, but
I have no idea.
the theory that I'm gonna arise is that maybe it isn't. You could say it is, and Jinx isn't dead because we don't officially see her die, and we don't see Warwick die. But
Hmm.
also, even without that, you got Heimerdinger and Bessa, fucking Jinx and Warwick, and fucking Victor and Jace, whatever happened with them. Those are six characters who
Hmm.
are in the game that
Echo.
at least four of them are
Is Echo
dead.
okay?
Yeah, is Echo okay? That's a good
I
question.
did we ever see Echo after that? I don't think
We,
we did.
we, we see him like,
Like,
but
yeah, but then
he
everything
doesn't
like
move.
around there, like all you see up there is the hammer. Everything that was around there like got sucked into that warp. Is Echo dead?
Well,
Or
Echo, I don't know.
because all you see up there, I'm thinking like just like it was a lot emotionally, so my brain was racing. So like trying to remember every little detail is hard right this second. But
Uh,
I'm pretty sure like you just see like everything just collapse in on itself, and Echo was right there, and all
yeah,
you see left up there is the hammer, and we don't see him again after that. So like, is Echo okay?
yeah. I mean, so that also goes back to the question. That makes seven now. We got three
Hmm.
definite confirmed kill. Well, two confirmed kills with Mbessa and Heimerdinger, and
Hmm.
then Jinx and Warwick. I'm gonna
Well,
say are
Heimerdinger is up in the
confirmed.
air too because it was part of the magic thing, so we don't know for sure. We can
I mean,
assume, but like,
yeah, we can, but also I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say I'm just gonna confirm all four of those deaths.
yeah, yeah, I'll be comfortable
Leave
with that.
leave Jace, Victor, and Echo up in the air because
Hmm.
whatever the fuck,
Probably dead
wherever
though.
they disappeared. But at like, is this gonna be the same universe, or are they gonna build off this lore and just make their own universe? And I'm gonna relate it, yes, to fucking Five Nights at Freddy's because don't don't start.
I didn't say anything. I didn't say
The
anything.
games and the movies we know are not in the same universe. They
Huh?
they basically confirmed that with just the first movie that they made, and I'm sure they're just gonna
Mhm.
build that brand new universe that obviously is taking inspiration from the games. I have a feeling
Mhm.
Arcane might do the same with League of Legends, and we kind of thought that was going to happen just from the first season. Uh, so now definitely you can tell, like with the second season, like they're going out on a limb. They're killing off people who are in the game.
Mhm.
It raises
Yeah, I
questions.
mean it can be separate continuities because like their game versions of themselves don't even come about till like right there at the end. So for
Yeah,
them
and even then they don't
to
look
co
the same or anything.
Yeah, like I looked at Jinx's design, like her, I mean, her face and stuff, the tattoos are the same, but like the clothes are completely different.
Hmm.
And like, but yeah, there's you can and even they introduced a multiverse.
Yeah,
Like, there's a
that's
bunch of
another thing. Yeah,
not even like I guess not even like a multiverse, but like just there are alternate realities where things have gone differently, almost every conceivable way. So like once you
hmm,
open that, like you can do whatever because this
yeah,
can be like, oh yeah, like the
and
the game universe or that reality is just a completely different thing. But I mean, you have to have a lot of the things that happen here to create those game characters like Warwick and Victor and Jace, the way he looks and everything. Like a lot of these things have to happen.
yeah,
But
and
I
I
think you
feel
can just
like
separate the continuities.
I feel like you can just infer that a lot of this did happen, but it ended up in some kind of different way where the game has happened because I haven't played the fucking game. You
Yeah,
haven't.
not a,
But
not a
I
single
mean,
match.
Jinx seems like a much more of like I guess a villain compared to how her
Hmm.
character arc happened in the show. And even,
Hmm.
like I said, the designs aren't fully matched up. And then she cut her braids off, so she's got shorter hair. So, like, even that part, too, is different. I'm not going to get too far into game design because, I mean, it's a show. It's fine.
Yeah,
But I feel like once you open the can of worms of like the time travel, and that's Echo's whole thing. You
yeah.
open that, then you open that and a multiverse go hand in hand.
Yeah. I
So
always I always feel very iffy when stories do time travel or multiverse stuff because I it can be done well, but it's also worrying to because like sometimes writers will use it as a oh, I can basically do whatever
yep.
I want without needing much explanation. Good, I can just go yada yada time travel, yada yada multiverse and like without really setting things up, which we didn't really
Yeah.
have that here as a problem.
Oh
That
yeah.
wasn't an issue here.
Especially because, like you said, they ended it. Like it, Arcane is done.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
Echo obviously had the whole time travel thing. It's in the game. It's part of his character. So we knew it was going to happen. Well, I knew you didn't. You didn't know. But
Yeah.
they pulled it off well with the whole multiverse thing and still able to flow that cohesive story. And I feel like that's good because you look at like I love Marvel, but you look at Marvel and it almost anything doesn't necessarily feel like there's consequences. Feel like anything can
Yeah,
happen.
and I think in end game when like a lot of their time travel, like there was like they said like oh you can't do this because it'll affect this there, but then like they'll do something later and it doesn't affect anything. And like I said, there
Mm-hmm.
was a lot of like oh we can just wave away consequences and like actions and reactions because we have time travel now and nanotechnology. Just it just I hate when you bring in like certain concepts and just kind of try to make it in place of good writing.
Yeah.
Where I see a arc of a good reasoning, cause and causation, and anyway. But that didn't happen here, so I'm very happy with it, and I like how they didn't try to pull the different realities together in a sense.
Yeah, exactly. So it overall, I'm giving the show fucking 20 out of 10. Like I love this show. This show is my
Yeah,
life and it's
it's very
over.
good.
I'm glad it's over because like you said, extending it too much can hurt it. With
Mm-hmm.
other shows of mine, I'm sure you can relate to shows of yours too. But like, I don't know if you've seen on Netflix like You or Lucifer, but You I feel like is getting dragged out a little too much. Lucifer
Mm-hmm.
almost did, but they bookended it, and I felt that was a
Mm-hmm.
great show. And with how they ended up and tied up loose ends to where you can't revive it. And I feel like
Mm-hmm.
Arcane did a lot with that too, where they tied up a lot of the loose ends. My
Mm-hmm.
issue, I don't think they'll ever revive it. Keep my fingers crossed because
Yeah.
reviving shows can always become real
Yeah.
iffy.
Like
And
it would make me feel gross or just it just spits on like the beauty of the moment. Like at the end, like if they brought like oh hey here's Arcane season 3, Jinx is back, I would
nah, I'm gonna
feel
lose my mind.
like the weight of that moment is just like well that just took everything away. It's
Yeah.
like a perfect example, like Episode 9 of Star Wars, when they're like somehow Palpatine returned. It's like, oh yeah, well Anakin, yeah, thank you for your contributions, but you did nothing. Thanks,
No.
bud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree. And again, League of Legends players, if you're watching this, I'm sure they're gonna feel the same in the sense of like, well, Jinx is in the game and this and that, and they might know more than me. Whatever.
Yeah.
Essentially,
There's a lot of
I'm
things that they probably know that we are like just grasping at because we're looking for explanations and they probably already know explanations.
yeah,
But I also think, like I said, it's really reasonable just to say it's a different continuity. It's easy just to say there's like yeah, this is like very similar characters, they same characters, but different. We're telling a different story here.
yeah. And as much as I would love to see Jinx back and love to see Jinx and Vi back together, my issue is even if they did revive the series and they started it again and brought Jinx back, is where they're gonna go with that, and that's my
Yeah.
issue.
What's
It,
what story could you tell there? It's like
yeah,
we had a nice ending. Like I do wish we could have seen them talk more. Like that is one thing I would have liked to see more. Like we saw them like have the conflict, but other than the like I said, their first meeting after like she's Jinx now, the
mm-hmm.
table, them yelling at each other or talking a little bit during their fight with Kate. Like, when Caitlyn was there, and then
Mm-hmm.
when after she finds Vi at her lowest, and then that talk in the mine or like
Yeah, like the whole
the
second
tunnel.
act, really.
Yeah, yeah, like we had like 5 or 6 moments and they weren't even that long of like speaking. Like they like I wish there was a longer quieter moment literally talking things through. Which I mean of course yeah, it led to conflict, which makes sense, but like,
Mm-hmm.
with them with them reconciled like really talking. But I get it like at the same time in the story like there wasn't a lot of time. Things were moving very fast. There wasn't a lot of time to have that.
Yeah, and
So
what we
but
got
I'm
was
not necessarily saying it would be better or worse to
oh
have that.
yeah,
It's like I kind of just wanted to see it.
yeah, and like what we got was great, and the way they pulled it off too, like because even in like the whole act 2, how they're sisters, but they're kind of trying to grasp like working together again,
Hmm.
because obviously, with this Isha who is like
Yeah.
devoted to Jinx, and obviously Vi's like, well, all this shit just happened. What's going on?
Yeah.
But also,
Well, yeah.
you
You see,
got Jinx. She's like,
like
no,
Jinx is
please trust me.
yeah. Like Jinx is just she's like, oh, I have a piece of the past that's come back in Vander. Like I
Yep.
wanted to get him, but I need you to do that with me. I don't want to do this alone. Because I not even just
Mm-hmm.
physically, it just like I imagine emotionally that's a lot on her because she
Oh yeah.
feels like well not feels like, but she's the reason basically Vander's dead.
Mm-hmm.
So
And all
that's
their
a lot for
friends.
her. Yeah, so she wants to like I need your help, Vi, not just physically but emotionally. I can't do this by myself. So she's desperate for that, and then Vi just like I don't trust you
Yeah.
at all. So like yeah, of course the conflict is gonna happen. But like once they're at the camp and everything, and they're like, and obviously they have to have the moment of, hey, he's your dad too.
Mm-hmm.
Like a few minutes of them just talking and like about everything would have been nice. Not like necessarily have an exposition dump of like, oh, what happened to you while I was gone, blah blah blah, or anything. Just like
Yeah.
basically saying, hey, I know you weren't there, but I have you now and I forgive you type thing. I which was it's kind of happened, but like unspoken, which not everything needs to be said. So like I said, I'm happy with what we got. I wanted more of a conversation between them, but it didn't have to happen. Like I said, I'm still happy with what we have.
Yeah, and I can understand too why they didn't, because we did. I feel like if they did, it may have kind of made the third act where she's in jail and calling it quits and everything
Mhm.
kind of feel a little different, as well as Vi, where she trusts Jinx, but then she doesn't know if she trusts Jinx because she did the whole like
Mhm.
switcheroo.
Yeah,
But in the end, they were still sisters. They are still sisters, and I felt like they did a beautiful job with that.
yeah, I agree.
Whew.
Okay, yeah, very emotional.
Yeah, Absolutely incredible series. If you haven't watched Arcane and for some reason you watched
Yeah,
this, you just ruined it for yourself, first of all.
yeah. I
But
doubt
fucking
I doubt they
watch
made it
it.
this far though.
Yeah.
Somehow ended up on your
If you
autoplay and you're listening right now. Go watch this show.
go watch it. And if you have watched it, watch it again. I'm gonna watch it
Yeah,
again. I'm gonna run it back a
yeah.
couple times.
Hey, hey, I in preparation for season 2 because like I last Saturday I was like going into season 2 episode 1 and I was like it's been a while since season 1. Like I'm forgetting a lot of details. So I went
Hmm.
back and watched all of season 1 and then went into season 2. It felt really well, I guess that's probably what helped or not helped but aided in my thing feeling like everything's happening really fast cuz I just literally was going quickly. But yeah, it was a wild ride. Definitely would
Yeah.
like to watch it all over again.
And it'll be great to watch it all just like straight through.
Hmm.
Just watch everything. Maybe see some things we didn't like we missed, but ooh, oh, better than Clone Wars. Best fucking TV series I've ever seen. My favorite, hands down. Hands down.
It's a great. I love. I don't mean to like just go off track again here, but going back to the like like symbolism in this show and like a lot of shots like the cinematography and things here, where like one I really liked that like towards the end there is when Jace is sitting or like next to himself that failed, and you see the older Victor, and like you're looking through like the framing of when they're going back and forth on their like face shots is like Jace's mind. It's
Yeah.
like his empty head, and it's like kind of like like this is like a internal conflict, and it's like oh what should I do? What it's like the two sides of a coin thing. The partners talking. There's so much like literally like I feel stupid because like I bet you there's so many more things that like that symbolize things that I missed because there's just so many awesome moments that I noticed like oh that's nice. Well,
Yeah.
most of the time it wasn't that's
That's
nice. It's like that hurts, but it hurts good.
oh,
But
it's
yeah.
all painful.
Mhm.
Love it. Hell of a discussion.
Yeah. I feel like I've been here for hours.
I'm pretty sure we have been. But
Yeah,
it's fine.
I don't envy editing you.
Who said I'm gonna edit this? I'm just gonna slap it together.
True, fair. I'm
It's
gonna
good.
provide a challenge for editing, Caleb. Hey, put this at the beginning of the video. If you have not watched Arcane, watch it right now before you watch this.
Correct.
And-
And if you made it this far,
yeah.
you're already here. So why not consider subscribing?
Yeah.
Like the video, really helps the channel out so much. Check this man out. He does a lot of anime stuff. So if you're a big anime person, check him out. I might throw this also in the beginning if they don't make it this far. So beginning
Right.
shout out to him. Go check out if you you like anime.
Appreciate it.
We're gonna be doing a lot more stuff on both of our channels. So we're in the grind. We've been trying to get in the grind for years.
Yes.
Look at us now. We got it. All right. Hell of a discussion. Can't wait to see what the Arcane creators do from here. I'm gonna go continue to cry.
Yeah, same. I'm gonna go lay in my bed and peace out.
Sob. And
Yes.
peace.
Later.